Hello, welcome back. Nice to have you with us this morning. Now, in a moment, from the world of fantasy to the world of the theatre, we're joined by the magical Merlin star. That's Colin Morgan.
Colin Morgan.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, he's got very Northern Irish there, hasn't he? You don't talk like that in Merlin, do you? No. Very good. Colin is from our wee country, just in case you didn't know that. But first, there's no trickery or wizardry here, just a brand new car, £5,000 in cash. Here comes the comp. We're going to talk to a thespian now about... We are. Right now.
Right now.
This is Colin Morgan. He's Merlin, the young wizard in the BBC TV series. Indeed, you got that National Television Award and we were there that night.
Yeah, that was a really special night. It was good to be able to fly the flag for the show, and really great way to end it all, and hugely thankful, obviously.
Do you know, I don't think a lot of people from Northern Ireland know you're from Northern Ireland, because in Merlin, of course, you don't have that accent at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I was saying to you, I'm back home, and I was out, and somebody asked me back home, "Oh, what's your connection with Northern Ireland?" I was like, "From here."
Well, shall we have a look at you? Not
All the
being,
things that you've done.
Not being Northern Irish.
Here we are.
Seats the weirdo.
Merlin, you are not a sorcerer. I would know.
There are times when I feel the weight of my destiny.
I keep telling you, I have many talents.
Let's go about your accent. Is it hard to lose your Northern Irish accent? Do you find it hard to...?
Well, it was something we'd trained at a drama school, and I saw a wonderful dialect coach, Penny Dyer, before starting as well, who had worked on for a lot of theatre productions, and she really helped me out.
She taught you well.
She did.
You were so young, your wee bones were hardly formed when they put you in that series. I mean, you started shaving yet and things when they cast you.
I learned actually on the show. It was no, it was 5 years. Your life, I spent longer doing that show than I did in secondary school, when you think about it. So.
Yes.
And am I right in thinking there was a bit of a mix-up in the audition? Because you didn't audition originally, did you, for Merlin?
Yeah, there was. I actually had been given the scenes for Arthur when I first auditioned, and that's when I sat down and they started talking about the character Merlin, that I went, I think I've got the wrong scenes, and I went out. I had 5 minutes and came back in and read over.
Well, that's an indication of the talent you have, and then you transfer it to the stage. And we're talking about Shakespearean plays now. We're talking about The Tempest in particular, and you're performing this not just at any theatre. You're the reformed, the rebuilt Globe.
Yes.
What is that like?
Absolutely phenomenal. The Globe Theatre itself is such an absolute pleasure to perform in. It's open air, it seats 1,500 people.
Can I ask a question? I've never been. Do they use what is the old setting, or what looks like the old setting, and do they have sort of like all sorts of electronic wizardry and lights and sound and that sort of thing? So is it new within old, or do they do it faithfully to the way it was done in Shakespearean times?
It's generally pretty faithfully, and there's no modern technology used. There's live music, there's a live band. It's all very traditional in that respect. There's no lights. The audience are in the same lighting as you. When it gets darker, there is some lighting to help, obviously, when it gets dark, and there is such a really special feeling.
And when you stand on that stage, could you imagine what it would have been like in Shakespearean times? Do you get that feeling of that history?
Absolutely. There's that connection that you have both between you and the audience. There's also the feeling I find when you're backstage and waiting to go on, and you're just there, and everything it feels very much like you're touching a bit of history.
Well, you're touching a storm, as The Tempest would suggest. Is it true that if you're in the audience, you may be in danger of being hit with a cannonball?
You're in no danger now. There's no one's going to get injured. But certainly, if you do choose to stand close to the stage, I mean, you can essentially buy a ticket for £5 to stand in the yard. There is a chance that you might get some form of interaction.
What do they do with these cannonballs, though?
There is, in The Tempest in particular, we're talking about that using the old form of theatre. Everything is created naturally, so there's the storm in The Tempest, the actual tempest itself, and so they've used very much traditional forms of that. So there's cannonballs that are rolled around the back of the audience to create that feeling of an interaction.
Rumbling storm
Absolutely,
effects.
So the audience are very much really in the action.
And your costume sounds interesting, I was reading, because you play Ariel.
It's an interesting interpretation.
Yeah. Feathers, a very tight top, and calf-length white boots.
Yes.
Sound like you should be in something else.
That sounds like Armagh on a Friday night. Really out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't much of a really transformation for me. It just brought me back home. No, it's hugely different, and it actually helped because there's a huge physical element to my role. I trained in parkour, free running for the role, so there's a lot of climbing and swinging and spirit-like movements.
Well, it'll be very interesting, how amazing working at the Globe, and that's on until the 18th of August, so you've already started.
Yeah.
And with Roger Allen.
And
isn't it? Yeah.
There is a Northern Irish drama which I'm particularly enjoying. I think it's tonight, or was it last night, The Fall, because we've got it taped.
Yes,
Last night, The Fall. That was episode 3 last night, which you're not in, but you're going to be in a drama called Quirk.
Yes.
With Gabriel Byrne, which we're going to see in the BBC as well, which is set in the 1950s. Next time you're in, we'll talk about that.
We can't now.
We can't now. Got to go to the news.
But it's been lovely to meet you.
Lovely to
Thank
meet
you
you,
very
Colin.
much.
Thanks very much indeed. Good seeing you.
And don't go away, because we've got all the soap gossip with Sharon later. See you after this.